Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
So I think today's going to be a spirited conversation, at least here in the first segment, because we had some breaking news yesterday that has multiple layers. That's why Luke Evangelist is here with us. It's the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. David Nuño, Olin Buchanan, and Luke. Luke, we're going to start with basketball, which I didn't expect to start with basketball today.
Bucky will shock you.
So I'm going to go in reverse order.
Of course.
Okay. LSU transfer Jalen Reese commits to Texas A&M. No chance. But I did see that.
Good catch, everybody.
Yep. So he is a guy that got hot at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll talk about him in a minute. But the lead, right?
Of course.
G League guard Bryson Warren commits to Texas A&M, a guy who averaged in the G League 19.9 points per game, 3 rebounds, 5 assists per game as a starter for the Westchester Knicks.
You forgot the best part. He shot nearly 39% from 3 on 11 attempts per game.
Yes. And also 83% from the free throw line.
We love that.
Here's where we are, though, okay?
Right.
I spent the better part of 10 days coming after Alabama for Bediako for similar in that they were the G League players, okay? Not similar situations. I understand they're different.
Correct.
I want you to help me understand. Look, I'm going to be very honest, and Olin, I don't know where you are on this. I'm a fan/analyst when it comes to A&M, okay? The analyst of me does not like G League players playing in college basketball. The Texas A&M fan of me loves the idea of playing the same game that the other teams are playing and taking advantage of it, just like in certain. I'm not a huge fan of the transfer portal, right?
Right.
But let's take advantage of it if it's a thing. So I'll let you explain to me the difference with Bediako and Bryson Warren.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just love that A&M has a coach and a staff that's not afraid to push the boundaries of roster building in college basketball. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel here because 4 other G League players have already gone from G League to college and have been granted eligibility. They're just simply looking for Bryson Warren to be the 5th. And why they believe he can is because his situation is completely different from Bediako. The reason Bediako's situation didn't work out was because he was already in college, forgoed his eligibility by entering the NBA draft, and then he tried to come back mid-season. If Bediako tries to come back in the offseason, maybe things go differently, but it was the fact that they tried to bring him in mid-season without the approval of the SEC, without the approval of the NCAA, that things went awry and they had to fight it in court. With Bryson Warren, it's going to be a very simple yes or no decision from the NCAA, and the fact that they already had a guy from Santa Clara and a guy from BYU get cleared and play in the NCAA last year, going from G League to college. And then this year, there's already been a guy who committed to Providence and somebody on Louisville's team who went from G League to college and are cleared to play next year. So they're just looking for Bryson Warren to be the 3rd guy cleared for next year. And why they think he can get that is because he never went to college. He was supposed to graduate high school in 2023. So this upcoming year should be his senior year of college. He went straight from high school, reclassified early by 2 years, went to go play for Overtime Elite, and then went to the G League. So technically, he never went to college. He has just been in the G League. He entered into the NBA draft, never got drafted, has been in the G League. So his situation is different because 1, it's an off-season addition, not mid-season. 2, he never went to college and tried to come back mid-season. And 3, they are just simply following what other programs have done, taking guys who went from high school to either overtime elite or G League Ignite straight to the G League and trying to get them eligible into college. And it's already happened 4 times already. They're just trying to be the 5th.
How many, sorry, let me jump in. How many of those are SEC guys that have been approved? And then my follow-up is,
none. There's only been, it's Santa Clara, BYU, Louisville, and Providence have all gotten guys
if
cleared.
Sankey was against Bediako, what makes us think Sankey's going to be okay with this move?
Because I'm sure Bucky McMillan and his staff have cleared it with the SEC, just as they did with the Rashawn Agee situation. They would not have taken Rashawn if they did not have extensive talks with the SEC office and say, hey, his waiver situation at USC has been written up like this. It's not how we want to write up the waiver, but we don't have time to file another waiver or else we won't get Rashawn until January. So are you okay with us going through this waiver process and potentially having to fight it in court because we don't think the waiver is going to win because USC messed it up? And the SEC approved that, which is why there was never any backlash from the SEC or the NCAA when A&M was fighting Rashawn Agee's eligibility in court. I guarantee you they would not have taken Bryson Warren's commitment if they didn't feel confident in what the SEC league office was telling them and the fact that they're going to support them while they wait for Bryson Warren's hearing for eligibility from the NCAA. So they would not have taken his commitment if they don't feel confident that they can get him eligible, and that they wouldn't have done it if Greg Sankey in the SEC office was going to come out against them.
Obi?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And yet, because where does this end? Let's say I'm an NBA player, okay, and I never went to college, and maybe I was at the end of the bench. Things didn't work out. I remember way back in the day, like the Mavericks. I know they don't draft them out of high school anymore, but they drafted a guy, Leon Smith, out of high school. Yeah. He sucked, but he probably could have been a good college player, right? Mm-hmm. And so, what if you have something like that where a guy never played college, got in the NBA, and comes back and he says, "You know what? Or maybe he's even a good NBA player, but 10 years." And they say, I want to go make some money in college. And they say, wait a minute, you can't do that. And my answer, I'd get a good attorney. I'd say, why not? I still have college eligibility. Well, you played in the NBA. So did these guys. They're in the G League. Well, the G League's not the NBA. Well, it certainly is. It's professional basketball that's owned by the NBA. So a good attorney, and you know what, by the way, the NCAA has a history of losing cases, right?
Yes, that's true.
So where does this end? I don't like it at all. I think when you've entered the NBA draft, you should have, you're done with your college eligibility. You just forfeited. Luke just talked about how Bediako forfeited his college eligibility because he went into the draft. Okay, you went to the draft. Now, all that said, I'm completely against that. I think this is kind of slimy part of college basketball. Okay, but all that said, if it's within the rules,
yes,
then Luke was telling us that this kid Bryson, that is down between
Texas.
A&M and Texas.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he said that I wouldn't take his commitment if I wasn't confident that he would get in. I would take his commitment just to make sure he didn't go to Texas.
Yeah.
But
or any rival, right? Or anybody in the SEC.
But if those are the rules, he talked about, 4 other guys have already done it. And if those are the rules that are going to be applied and allowed, then I'm all for playing within the rule. I don't like the rule.
Yes.
But if those are the rules that apply, why should I don't want to be Dabo Swinney. It says, well, I'm against the transfer portal, so I'm not going to get involved in it. And I'm going to be sanctimonious and sit back and watch everybody else around me flourish because of it. And then all of a sudden watch my program decrease, right? I don't think it completely cratered, but yeah, we're on the same page there, right? So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But what do they say in the Hyman Roth say to Michael? He says, this is the profession that we chose, and this is what it is at this time.
Yeah, there's one thing, and to not like a rule,
right?
I'm sure there's plenty of rules that we don't like. Maybe at TexAgs, maybe on the freeway, there's one thing. Hey, okay. For instance, I don't like when I see I think it's in Austin. No, it's something that you guys will all love. Billy will make fun of me about this, but in Austin, there's there's a tollway. You can go like 85 miles an hour, whatever it is. Not a big fan because that means everybody's going 105, right? But it's legal, so I do it. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't love it because I don't want grandma going 85.
To me, this is kind of like why a lot of people hate lawyers, because they're always looking for a loophole. Mm-hmm. And to me, this is kind of like in that vein. I found a loophole to do something that we all know you shouldn't do. We all know it's really not the spirit of what this is. So once again, and I do wonder about where this ends, because.
But I'm going to give credit to Bucky and the staff because he gets paid to win games. Right? And if this is being allowed elsewhere, you have to play the game as long as it's legal.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
We can be against the that it's okay, right? Just like Rashawn Agee last year. They waited, right? They got him approved. He played. Bediako, before it was approved, they're like, hey, he's just going to play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just fine.
If you
and
go
then they
by...
kept all his stats.
Exactly. Yeah. If you just go by what the SEC league office and what the NCAA wants you to handle the situation, such as don't just add a player midseason and play him before we deem him eligible or not, odds are they feel like it's going to work out in their favor. I just want to reiterate, they would not have taken this commitment if they didn't feel confident in getting him eligible and having the support of the SEC. The last thing that they want to do, everybody saw the outrage on Alabama. The last thing they would want to do is make a move and have the commissioner of the league they play in come out against it.
Yeah.
That's not what they're trying to do here. Like I said, I don't like the rule. I think we're all nostalgic for the era when players would stay at one school for 4 years and college players were college players. But this is how the game is being played right now. And I think it's a credit to this staff that they're not afraid to push that boundary. And they're just looking to be the fifth to get a G League player eligible who never went to college.
Now let's talk about it from
to me, whether he went to college or not is irrelevant to me. If you went into the draft, again, Luke talks out of both sides of his mouth here, but when he talks about Bediako, he went into the draft, so he forgoed his eligibility. Well, this guy never played college basketball, but he went to the draft. Well, did you forego your eligibility going to the draft or not? Yes. You're saying one is okay, one's not. And it's both about going into the draft.
Well, one went to the draft from college.
One of them went into the draft. And if you go into the draft, it's always been in other sports, how many guys in college baseball has ever come back after, even if they never played in the major leagues?
Well, that might change now.
It might. But has it?
Yeah. Or XFL players.
Has it ever happened before? I'm asking you that.
Not that I know of.
Right. But once again, I'll reiterate, if that's the way the game's going to be played now, then play it.
So, okay, let me just ask a question. Torian York doesn't get drafted. I think he might get drafted. He doesn't get drafted.
Should he be able to come back?
Sanford got hurt. You could use another linebacker. Like, who knows how long Sanford's out? Why not? But I don't think football wants to go that direction. Because I think basketball's all in.
It may not be up to football. If a guy like Torian York, or we say Torian York because we know
anybody.
It could be anybody. What if they say, well, I didn't get drafted. Now I'm going to get an attorney.
Yep, and come back. Or try to anyway. But again, the rules that they're allowed to play in, I could disagree with. I am very happy that our team takes advantage of what's out there.
Right.
And you can have different opinions on both. And by the way, all fans of every fan base, everybody, right? We're for sale. We're not talking about robbing a bank, right? We're talking about sports. And we can change our opinion. Like, that's why if Patrick Beverly plays for your team, I choose certain people. I don't know why. We love him. But if Draymond plays for the other team, you hate him. When he's on your team, you kind of justify things. That's the beauty of sports.
And just watching these Bryson Warren highlights, I think you're going to like him. I think you're going to want to root for him because this kid is really good. This is the game changer they needed. They haven't had a guard that can shoot the ball like him. I mean, they haven't had one. Like, let's just be honest. A lot of their shooting came from the wings last year, and he is going to be a major volume shooter. and then you pair him with somebody that gets downhill like PJ Haggerty. A&M right now, if Bryson Warren gets cleared, probably has the best backcourt in the SEC.
Best backcourt in the SEC.
Down.
You add Jalen Reese. They have 3 starting guards that a lot of teams would trade for. I'm just being honest. They could get upwards of 55 points per game from those guards. Like it is that special of a trio, and it's not out. You can see what Bucky wanted to do with this roster. They wanted to get bigger, more athletic guards, and they've done that with their additions. And Bryson Warren.
If Bryson Warren had decided to commit to Texas, would we be?
That's what somebody on the YouTube page is.
Would we be crying foul?
We would be outraged.
Well, I'd be probably mad that A&M
didn't get him
lost
either.
the commitment.
I think both things can be true.
But again, it's not the first. Like we're not talking about the first G League player to ever go back to college.
We're talking about 2 different issues here, all on the same.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we're talking about do we like the rule as it stands, and then on the other hand, we're saying, well, are we saying that A&M shouldn't play within the current rules as flimsy as they are?
Right. Yeah.
They're looking for, should A&M not take advantage of the loophole?
Right. And by the way, A&M takes advantage of it. Guess who else is going to take advantage of it? Other teams are now going to be trying to pay G League guys like, hey,
I'm telling you,
because you see what they
don't be surprised if you see at some point in the future a guy come from an NBA roster who never played college, and trying to and use it. Well, the G League did they not get paid? Oh, so now we're just talking about how much money I made, and then if they try to bring in age, then I'm sure there's lawyers would like to line up for an age discrimination.
Yeah, it's look. I'm going to separate the 2 things in my head because I can, right? People can hate, people can love, right? From a pure basketball standpoint, I don't know what you said, if it's true or not. I don't follow the guard numbers as well as you do. But if Bucky thinks this is going to be good for the system, and I am all in. This is not anything about Bucky. It is about Bucky for adding the right players, right? I'm excited from a basketball standpoint.
If Bryson Warren goes out there in an A&M uniform and he has been approved to play, I'm going to hope that he's every bit as good as Luke is trumpeting to be. I'm sure he is. And I'm hoping that they're going to have the best backcourt in the SEC. Of course, I'm going to be worried about the front court. But, I'm going to be hoping it's all those things. If he goes out there and as Luke says, they're confident will, that he'll be approved and he'll go out there, then yes, I'm going to be rooting for him to inwardly.
Right.
Got to maintain some professionalism. Inwardly, I'm going to be rooting for him to do all the things that we want him to do. And still will hate the rule.
Yeah. Well, I don't love...
What's the old thing that you say, don't hate the player, hate the game?
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate the player, but I'm going to hate the game the way it's being played right now.
I'm going to compare it to the portal, again, just so we can, because we probably got to hit a break here, but I'm going to compare it to the portal. I'm not a big fan of people being able to go in the portal whenever they want. I know that they've done a nicer job of setting it to the window once a year in football, right? There's things that they're improving on it, but I, like you said a moment ago, prefer college sports to be a guy goes to a school and that's his school.
Right.
And you only transfer in an extreme situation. You don't see a path to play ever. You don't like the coach. Coach gets fired, whatever. I don't like every year, let me see what NIL says. But I'm okay with my team taking advantage and my program taking advantage of what everybody else is trying to take advantage of.
Yeah.
And that's where I stand on this. I don't love the rule, but if you're going to have dudes doing it, then we got to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Agree. That 100%.
And to basketball standpoint, both those guys you think are going to light it up?
Oh, yeah, they'll be a major factor. I mean, we didn't even talk about Jalen Reese. Like, that is, Jalen Reese alone is
his
a really
regular
big story.
stats weren't amazing, right?
I mean, he didn't even average 6 points a game.
Points against A&M.
Yeah, but he might have been the most improved freshman from the start of SEC play to the end. You got to take his stats with a little bit of circumstance. He was the backup guard, barely even playing 10 minutes a game in non-conference play. And then, as we all remembered, that A&M benefited from Deedon Thomas Jr., who, by the way, if anybody needs any reminder as one of the best guards in the country, he's going to go light it up at Houston next year. He got injured in a freak accident right around Christmas, and that thrust Jalen Reese into the starting lineup, and he obviously struggled a lot. A&M won that game in College Station because he turned the ball over twice in the final couple minutes, And then you saw his progression all year. I know nobody else was watching LSU, but in the final 8 games, he averaged 12 points, 7 assists, and shot over 37% from 3. Obviously, he dropped 17 on A&M when they played in Baton Rouge. Very high-quality young guard who still has plenty of room to grow, but they've got a pre-existing relationship with his dad. Bucky coached with his dad. They love the progress he made last year, and they feel like what he went through last year can really translate to this system. And I mean, we had people on our message boards the moment he entered the portal being like, they need to go get this guy.
Yeah.
So obviously a very high quality get and somebody who's going to be huge for the future of this young backcourt that Bucky McMillan is building, even when you add in guys like Nico Mundy and Jeremiah Green.
Well, and if we look at what he did from the development, I'm talking about Bucky here last year, and how he got the most out of every player, I'm super excited about what year 2 can look like.
Right.
Luke, great job reporting, buddy.
Also, Mbako's back. I feel like that's
worthy.
I know we got to hit a break. But
anything about Mbako we need to be aware of?
He's back.
He just never went in the portal, and he's ready to roll.
It was an ongoing situation. A lot of factors. If you want to read up on as much information as I can give, it's in the portal thread.
Okay.
A lot of different factors. Both sides obviously working hard. They wanted to stay. They wanted him to come back, and ultimately they were able to come to a obviously very positive decision over the last week, and could not be more excited that McKenzie is back. And I still don't think anybody saw him at the full strength that I saw over the summer. He's truly a game changer for them.
By the way, does Dirk have any eligibility? Because he can play the front court. He can hit the 3 ball. He can definitely play in Bucky's
system. They've got, again, roster outlook, roster building, what they're trying to do. It's all in that thread. I trust the vision that this staff has. But it's definitely coming together. There's 3 spots left. In an instant, the roster went from, oh no, there's uncertainty, people are jumping off a cliff, to they're probably a week and a half away from, you're probably going to know what the lineup looks like.
Great stuff, Luke. Thank you very much, buddy.
Of course.
And Luke, you can actually talk with us as we talk 1775, because I'm already seeing a Thursday lunch, OB, where we're bringing some new players. We're bringing in a G League star. We're bringing in an LSU rising star to the roster, and they're going to eat well, buddy.
I wonder if the difference for this Bryson Warren was, he's considering Texas. They said, yeah, well, let's go talk about it over 1775 barbecue. You can't,
seal the deal.
You're going to have to drive all the way from Austin to get this barbecue, or you could come to A&M and it's right down the road, just literally 2 or 3 miles away from campus, just going towards Snook. Over on the left, there's a little sign there, 1775, and then you maybe take him out there and have him experience, not just taste, but experience some of that succulent brisket or those amazing pork ribs, that jalapeno cheese sausage. You know what? They probably had him right there.
Yeah, they did.
But then just to lock it down, you know what they lock it down with?
Queso mac and cheese.
Queso mac and cheese.
I heard a fake rumor that Mbako decided to stay because he could not leave 1775. I heard this fake rumor in my head.
Yeah.
What I heard is you take all that brisket, you wrap it up in some butcher paper. Then you unwrap it. All that juice, that Then you take that paper that has all those juice on it, and you wrap it around. You wrap it around Mbako's hurt foot, and it has magical
healing powers.
It has magically healing. It will heal your hunger. It'll heal your foot.
It's like baking soda on your skin. It's amazing the things you can do with 1775. OB, the website, 1775txbbq.com, 979-492-6241. It's 1775.
And it's good, and it heals.
Que rico. First time in the history of this show that I've done it, at least, that we're almost half an hour in. I didn't tell you the name of the show. I didn't say a word about sponsors. It was just content.
Just straight to it.
Straight content. So now I'll tell everybody that this is TexAgs Live. We are presented by
David Gardner's Jewelers.
In the Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. And we are currently, for at least 3 minutes, hanging out at the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
I love this area. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it multiple ways. One way is to call us on the Buppies Catering and
Bartending
hotline, 979-693-1150, or text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy
text line,
979-693-1150. I'm sure this topic's going to come out throughout the show. Steve McGee's going to join us. Maybe we can talk a little bit from a football perspective of what happened here with A&M basketball. But we're going to go around the room quickly, say hi to the people. And I know we got some texts to get into. I know Cooper's already pontificating what future guys can potentially return to Aggie athletics. We go behind the glass, left to right, and there's Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
What's up?
I'm like y'all. I don't necessarily love the move, but I like you said, OB, you don't hate the player, you hate the game. And as y'all mentioned, if it wasn't A&M, he's going to Texas. He's going to a bigger rival, something like that. So, it's a big piece for sure. Again, don't love it, but I'm sure if he's going to be scoring like Luke thinks he's going to be scoring come fall, I think we're all going to love it.
Love it on game day, hate it the rest of the year.
Yeah, but who else
exactly.
Now, this happens. I'm sure if you look at the G League's top scorers, let's say there's 2-3 guys that are averaging 20-plus points a game, and they're like, I'm just going to make up a number here, $200,000 in this G League team, or I can come to Kentucky, be their starting two guard, and make
million
plus. I'm going to come back. Like, that's the part and I think it hurts the high school development of the kids coming in. That's who it really hurts, because you're talking about men versus young men, right? Yeah. But it is what it is. And I want my team to win within the rules.
Right. Even if you found a loophole in the rules.
Yep. So when
I'm not saying A&M found it, I'm saying within the
the loopholes that other teams have taken advantage of, A&M has to play the same game. And then if they evolve and change the rules, then you adjust to that too.
Right.
Right. That's the question. That's not A&M's.
Adjust or die.
Bucky is not the maker of rules. Bucky is following what's allowed.
He is the taking advantage of the rules as they are written.
Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Cooper Patterson is with us. Cooper, people reacting?
There's been a lot of reactions. I probably didn't need to do any prep last night because we have like 8 texts that I noted down.
Okay.
We got a really good one from Walker in Houston. I think this is how a lot of, at least I'm thinking through this, and a lot of other fans. He says, my biggest issue with Bediako is that they inserted him mid-season when nobody else was able to do the same. They had a roster deficiency and added a pro player during SEC play. That's the closest thing I've seen to cheating recently. Bucky's doing what every coach is able to do right now.
Agree. I do see similarities with other than the mid-season, right? You are bringing in a G League player.
My point, my feeling is the minute you go into the draft, you've
forfeited
your eligibility.
But if they want to change the rule.
And if they want to change it, change it.
If they change the rule, if you've received a pro contract from any team, then you have forfeited but if you don't get drafted, that could be a rule too, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, you were just using Torian York as an example. If he doesn't get drafted, and he probably will, but if he doesn't,
or whoever, right?
Yeah, or whoever, it might be on somebody at LSU or somebody at Texas. Right. They don't get drafted, they want to come back. How are you going to tell them no?
Right. It just, What else, Cooper?
Wendy, to your point, she's in College Station. She said, in baseball, players are drafted all the time and still go to college. Prager is our example, but he never entered the minors. However, all of this G League stuff is opening the door for minor league players to leave and go to school.
Yeah. Like I said, hey, Evan Oschenbeck.
He's got a year of eligibility, right?
Yeah, and maybe they don't need him as much as they needed him last year. But
I think they could use him.
Yeah, I mean, they found a place for him.
Prager's out of eligibility, right?
Yeah,
probably. But then you could find somebody. You could definitely find somebody good. Like Broniger or Richard Zane would know the perfect example. I just not learned enough about A&M baseball.
Can I be really honest about this? This is how I feel. I just don't want to be first. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but A&M has a history of being first on things that drive people crazy. Like Jackie Sherrill was the first guy with the huge contract, and then Jimbo was kind of the first.
Yeah.
So they're kind of 1-1.
Yeah, but I'm saying like this rule, I don't want to be first. Like I don't want Coach Earley to be the first one to be like.
I think A&M was the first to actually.
Paul Skeens, come on down. I don't want to be first.
I think A&M was the first to actually get insurance for players in case they got hurt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That
sounds
right. I think A&M was first in that too. A&M's trendsetter.
Trendsetters. Hey, hi to all the Texas fans and LSU fans watching. Let's hit a break here, OB.
Okay.
Let's welcome Stephen McGee onto the program.
Let's do.
Maybe this will come up. I know he was a play-by-play commentator for the spring game, so we'll talk to him about that. And, I don't know, NFL draft. Right now, when insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? That's the Rollo Insurance Group. You get a personal agent, a direct phone number, not a call center, not an automated system, not some weirdo. You're going to get somebody that you know from this community. They're the official insurance provider of this show, and the difference is real. They've got 60 offices in the great state of Texas, but their headquarters is on Highway 6 right here in College Station. Whether it's home, auto, or business, or ranch insurance, start a relationship with experts who put you first. Your agent becomes familiar with your specific situation. They provide a plan that most mass market providers cannot match. What you need to do is visit the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. It is Rollo Insurance. That's real. And we're back on TexAgs Live. Time for our weekly conversation with Stephen McGee, our QB1, and your financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right place for your financial future.
Real, though.
Gentlemen,
yeah.
Are we looking at the Brazos County Mugshot Awards?
We are.
It's fun.
It is fun, man.
It shows up on my algorithm all the time. I don't follow it, but it shows up, and I don't mind it.
Hey, is that the first name?
I don't know.
You're a journalist. Like, where's the comma? Like, if it's that, then comma, that.
I would assume the last name goes first.
Correct, right? So the first. So.
But
first,
I think I was once told if you're Chinese that the last name goes first all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know.
I've had all these mental conundrums this morning. So we're talking about the world of men's basketball and NIL dollars. If that's true, shouldn't the last name goes first? Chinese shouldn't Lee Logan instead of Logan Lee? Dude, hold on. Okay. So what is the name?
I don't know.
I want you to read that. No. What is that?
No.
Is it Kim? Or is it Dong?
Okay.
I think his last name is Kim.
Did you have any thoughts on I'm trying to
on NIL?
Yeah.
Or we're talking about men's basketball?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. So I was blown away at the dollars being floated for men's basketball. And it's no offense to men's basketball, but you're talking about a roster of what, 10 guys?
A little bit more.
12 guys?
12 to 15.
12 to 15, yeah.
And then, you have like 25 coaches who went to the game. This year is unbelievable. You have like 2 coaches per player.
You may be exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of coaches out there.
So maybe exaggerating a little bit. And then you have this roster of football that's how many guys?
105 now, right?
Yeah. 105 guys.
And they're all on scholarship now, right?
They're all scholarship guys. And so you're telling me...
But they're worried about the cost of college athletics.
Yeah, they are, clearly.
I'm worried about the cost of tuition, but go ahead.
What percent of athletic department revenue is generated by men's football? I'm just curious. Do you know, rough estimate?
85%?
At Texas A&M?
Sure.
100%.
Okay, how about at, I don't know, pick a random school like Florida?
Probably 100% or 85%. I mean, they did win the national championship a couple years ago.
Yeah. So you're telling me, though, that
then it's 99.
It could also be possible that your men's basketball team with 12 guys is being paid approximately 75% of what your NIL budget is for football. I just don't understand the math there to say, hey, if I'm, and it's so offensive, men's basketball. It's great. Logan knows I love the full court press. Lee Logan. Dong. I just like my mind. So we're back here in the fishbowl talking about this while you guys are on air, and I had no idea the amount of money that is being doled out in NIL for men's basketball. For me, I think if you invest and go, and I know how incredibly difficult it is, but if you go all in and you pay and you reallocate more of that money to football in pursuit of a championship, I think the university, when you win a football national championship, is a much better, it provides much more revenue as a whole for the university than if you win a men's basketball national championship. I'm not saying that it's not important.
That's been proven.
Yeah. So to me, it's like if I'm going to allocate this amount of dollars, I don't even know why we're ranting about this. It doesn't really matter.
I just want my school to be great at everything.
I do too.
And allocate whatever dollars you can to maximize that the way I think Alabama has done really well with football and basketball and baseball.
Yeah.
The way Texas
we've
has,
done.
Unfortunately.
I mean, look at the success we've had. I know, granted, it's all relative. I was talking to Trev Alberts this last week. I mean, like in the last 12 months, we've won or been, in the playoff or in consideration in almost every sport across the board, which is phenomenal. I'm just thinking here, like capitalism and paying players and like revenue sports, like if we can go sign Cam Coleman, like if we're going to pay a basketball player that averaged 5 points a game, $5 million. So he's going to make $1 million per point. That to me just doesn't, the math doesn't add up.
Yeah,
like go get Cam Coleman.
I think it's more the potential.
I know
that
what you're saying.
Yeah. But
they don't want to just be a football school. They want to be good in everything. So if you're going to be good in everything, you're going to have to spread some money around. Besides, now, here's another thing. You don't necessarily have to, as a university, pay the guy $5 million. What you really need is one donor that really loves that sport, and he's going to, hey, I got $5 million.
Yeah.
And like Texas Tech has.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent $1 million on a softball player.
Which blows my mind because I thought now everything has to go through this advisory board at Deloitte or whatever. But
yeah, which is probably as soon as it gets challenged. I mean, I think they put that up there. Hey, you're going to have to go through Deloitte and Touche and all that. And they're going to have to prove it. And then like one person said, yeah, we're going to take that to court, and all of a sudden they quit talking about it.
Yeah.
So and this is all because of what the G League player coming to Bryson Warren coming to A&M to play basketball and some of the conversations about that. How do you feel about the ability, if you haven't played in the NBA or you haven't played in the NFL or you haven't played in the major leagues, to come back to college?
So I've played in the UFL and I want to come back to college football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it at all. I think that they make this step, they leave college, and I think there should be one transfer for a 5-year period.
Yeah.
I think that there should be a defined 5-year with a, red shirt. So 4 years and that's it. Like the world of like 9 years of eligibility and especially with the incentive, a lot of these guys are it tells you the little bit cattywampus here is that these guys are staying in college and some of them giving up millions of dollars in the NFL or in the NBA just because they're going to make more in college sports, which, hey, great for them. But I'm just saying that the model seems to be broken if that's the case. I mean, you should always want to play at the highest level.
So let me ask you that about okay, so the model, I put that in one category. But I also put, you got to play the game that all your competitors are playing. So in this world, if a guy goes undrafted for football, right? Let's say one of these 15 guys doesn't get drafted, wants to come back, and somewhere else is doing it, you've got to think about doing it as well, even 100%. If you don't like the rule, right?
I don't mind that. Like, to me, where if you go and you compete at any professional level, I don't think you should be allowed to come back to the college level.
I agree with that.
But if you declare yourself for the draft and you don't get drafted, I like the idea of them being able to come back. Now, the problem there is, like baseball, there are guys that are probably going to get drafted in the 7th round, don't like it, and then they're going to just opt out, right? And I don't know how you...
Well, here's where I think kind of a curveball in all this, because I think you're basically saying, if you get drafted, you can come back as long as you don't sign a contract because you're a pro player.
Yeah.
But now the argument that an attorney would make is the college players are pro players. They're getting paid.
Yeah, this is true.
So
it is pro model.
But it was supposed to be paid just for name, image, and likeness.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to say, we're not going to talk about suppose. We're going to talk about what is. So you got to come up with this way to, I'm probably going to use the wrong word, delineate what line you can't cross to lose your eligibility.
Yeah.
And I think it should be, if you decide that you're going to enter the draft, you do so understanding you're forgoing your college eligibility. You're giving it up. I'm entering the draft. College is done.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, there's no easy answer to anything.
Again, to me, there's what's allowed, and you have to take advantage of that. And we can also talk about what we don't like. And I think they're two separate talking points. Because to what OB said in the first segment, you don't want to be Dabo either and see other programs pass you because you don't adapt. I actually love that about Dabo. Personally, I love that
you don't love it on Saturday.
Exactly right.
Fan. You love it all, every other
If it works, you love it.
Yeah.
You love the idea, but you don't love seeing your team start losing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at the playoff teams this year, right? I mean, the stats show that the majority of them built the vast majority of their starters in the portal.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, you're building your roster in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Let's hit a break. We'll come back with a buy, sell, hold brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors. Right now, Brazos Running Company located at Century Square. They're a locally Aggie-owned operating specialty running store where they can find all the shoes that you want and help you get the right shoe for your situation. They'll look at your gait. They'll make sure that shoe fits your style of running. And I've done it before. It's a real easy process. They've got it all, by the way. When you go there, they have Brooks, On, Hoka, Nike, you name it. They got it at their store. They've got Viore, they got Duck Camp, they got Turtle Box speakers, they got Stanley Cups, you name it. They'll take great care of you. Say hi to the folks there at Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. It is the Brazos Running Company. Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites, while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. Welcome back to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers. Buy, sell, hold, brought to you by Aggie and Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. I wish there was a camera on these two during the break. What are you guys looking at? Actually, don't show me. I have no idea what's going on. Is it a picture?
Yeah, it's a video, slow-mo.
Oh, God. I don't know what it is. I can only imagine.
Oh.
Good song, by the way. Let's, yeah, okay, you did. Just keep the camera on Olin. Long hair Olin. All right, you did the maroon and white game, right?
Right.
All right, so we're going to buy, sell, hold, stock, freshman year of the biggest year, okay? I'm going to give you 3 names. They're all going to have good years, all right? But you're going to buy stock. Buy, sell, hold. Aaron Gregory.
Ooh.
Brandon Arrington. KJ Edwards.
Wow. This is a good one. I like Brandon Arrington.
Yeah, I do too.
I really liked him a lot. I'll buy Brandon Arrington. I'm going to lease. Golly, Aaron Gregory made some nice plays, both in the scrimmage, in the practice before, the spring game, and then. But I think there's quite a bit of depth at the wide receiver room, right? I mean, there's some really good players, namely Craver, Isaiah Horton, Ashton Bethel-Roman, Bussy, who didn't play in the spring game. I mean, there's a lot of guys stacked in there trying to get reps, and so just by that alone, I think he may get lost in the shuffle. And then KJ Edwards. What are your thoughts, OP?
That's a tough one, man. I think based on what I saw during the limited time we saw, I think I would buy Aaron Gregory.
Yeah.
I think he's just too good not to play. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and catch 50 balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to play. I think I would lease Arrington.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then hold on KJ, even though, he's so explosive, but it seems to me that freshman running backs.
Elkos takes his time.
They take time with it because they got to learn
It's when the ball's not in their hand, right?
Right.
That's so
now I could see KJ Edwards playing kind of a similar amount to what Jamarian Morrow did last year.
Right. Yeah. Well, was Morrow the most impactful freshman last year?
I don't think he was the most impactful freshman, even though off the top of my head I can't think of somebody else.
I know why.
Might have been.
I know why you can't.
Why is that? Because there was nobody? Because he was?
No. Other reasons that we're not going to mention on air, but anyway.
Marco Jones is one of them.
Marco Jones, he's going to have a big year. I thought he'd make some good plays in the game too, but that's a position. Offensive and defensive lines are the question marks. I know you get a haul in the portal on the offensive line, but how do they gel together?
Right.
And then secondly, the defensive line. I mean, we've had some really good pass rushers consecutive years. Cassius Howell, losing him. And then, what is the story on Sanford? Do we know?
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But that's big. I mean, he's still an effective pass rusher. So Marco Jones, I mean, the defensive line, you've got to have a unit. You got to have guys.
Yeah. Got to drop it right there. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Way to break. Michael Earley, Richard Zane, next on TexAgs Live. All right, we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Richard Zane joining me to talk a little baseball. Michael Earley in studio. Coach, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So the game gets rained out. Good time for it to be rained out. I know you want to play, especially with the way momentum's going, but rest is always good too, right?
I like to play. I always think back to like when I was in elementary school and there'd be a Little League game and I'd be at school and it'd be raining. I would be extremely upset. So I still kind of have that in me. But rest was good. We had a really good, able to practice, got some good hitting inside, and the pitchers were able to find a window to throw, but I always like to play.
How did you use the Tuesday without having to be at the ballpark, and how did the fishing go earlier this week?
It was solid. It was a little cold, but I caught a couple and went inside on Monday. But Tuesday we were still there. I mean, we just got left at like 5:00, but we wanted to get some really good, ABs off. We got some really good pitching machines just to keep the eyes in a good spot. But yeah, it's been a good week. I think a little rest is good, right? But it just depends on how you use it. And I think the last couple of days we've been pretty productive.
So learning from prior weeks, that's kind of been a theme. I think you all learned a little bit from the Texas series on some things maybe not to do. You go to Baton Rouge, have a phenomenal weekend, crazy environment, again in the SEC. I mean, do you feel like you can build on all these weekends as you move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you want to build on it, and they're also so separate too, because like teams are so different, and teams present you with just different obstacles. Like pitching staffs are different, hitters are different. But in the end, I still go back to like you just play consistent baseball. Like if you're a consistent team, you're a good team. If you're inconsistent, you're inconsistent, period. And if you're bad, you're just bad. But I think our guys have just done a good job of really playing pitch to pitch and just like, it's that methodical approach. Like we're going to do what we do and we're not going to let anyone change it. Now, the challenge for us, I think, moving forward is like we're going to, at some point, there's going to be some adversity here. You're going to have a loss. Like it's baseball. Like we're on an awesome run right now in conference, but it's just like, how do we handle it? We didn't trail all weekend. Like that's not likely to, it's not going to continue to happen. Like we just got to continue to play how we've played no matter what the score is. And I think we've done that. Like Friday we might've been ahead, but it was right there. I mean, you were there. It was right there till the 6th, and we've done that. So we just got to continue to do it.
Kind of right there until that 9th inning backside home run from the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
One of those guys that has been building and being more and more consistent pitching staff is Gavin Lyons, and I know you spoke a little bit about him on Monday when you were here with Brawny and David. But what has allowed him to continue to build in SEC play? Looking at the numbers, he's got the club's second best ERA and WHIP in conference play.
I think, he's number one in zone strikes with a unique fastball. He hasn't the last couple outings had to really throw that cutter slider, but when he has it and it's pretty good. So that is on people's minds too. So that helps. But I think it's just his conviction in how he's throwing. Like he is confident and you can throw one pitch two different ways, one without confidence and one with conviction. And he's throwing every pitch with conviction. And everything has a little bit of extra teeth on it, and there's something different about that. I don't care what a computer screen says, even though his screen, it reads pretty good, but like he can be the same guy that just continues to pound, and how he's attacking is with some serious conviction.
You're using him for multiple innings each time you run him out there. So on the Palish Aschenbeck scale, where are you at with comfortability and confidence in him to get you key outs each time he runs out there?
Yeah, extremely. I mean, he's doing it, right? I mean, he's doing it at a high level, and him and Fresh, and they're going to continue to pitch a lot. The thing about those two and like the two guys you just mentioned, that's not the same for everyone, is they bounce back pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. Like you might be the same guy at the same stuff, you don't bounce back great. These guys can really throw, so we're able to do that. So he's been really good. Fresh has been good. All those guys, over the last couple of weeks have done a really good job and, helped win us some ball games.
I'm fairly sure I know how you'll answer this because you seem to do everything a similar way. But now that the perception and the results are you're an upper echelon SEC team and that teams are trying to catch, I know you're still trying to catch first place. Does it change anything in the approach and maybe the confidence, or you put your head down and you do the exact same work?
I do the same, and that's how, you portray to the team. Like, I wouldn't even know what we were ranked unless, like, my son didn't tell me. So, like, I don't know. I don't know any of that. I don't know what's going on in the world, to be honest with you. It's just truly, like, day by day sinking into it because it's you never feel good. Like I can't explain. Like, and it's how all coaches are, but like the SEC, you go into Baton Rouge and like they're like that's a good team.
Yeah.
Like what we did is like it's pretty good. Like that doesn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? So now it's back to this week, and you feel the same way. Like you're back to being miserable and desperate to win, and all those things. So nothing changes for us. I mean, we busted our tails in practice the last 2 days, and again, I go back to the leadership we have is unique, and I think the freshmen and the lower class guys very unique personalities. It's quite the blend. Like those freshmen don't need to be pulled along. Like sometimes those guys are pulling guys along, and they understand what we're trying to do.
Speak about the leadership, and obviously guys like Grahovic and Sorrell, they were here last year when it didn't go y'all's way a lot. And I know they didn't play for much of the year or perhaps even all of the year in Gavin's case. But as things have started to progress and started to continue to ascend, what have you seen from those two guys from a leadership standpoint and how they have stayed locked in both on the field and in the clubhouse and kept bringing guys along with them?
I think the biggest thing is they do their work. If you look at their parts of like what they do for the team, hitting and their defense, like from a hitting perspective, both of them have continued to do, like we're real big on our routine. Like you have to embrace the monotony of being a good hitter. Like we do a lot of the same stuff every day, or they do in their pre-practice work, and those guys have been great about it, which is huge. Like you want guys like that to do that. And then from a leadership standpoint, they do it in different ways. Like Sorrell's not a big talker, but he's a big worker, and people see it. He does, like, he's very, very good in his work. And then Gavin has really found his voice this year, and I think did last year by watching and not playing. We're super lucky to have him on our team and hitting 1-2, and they got experience, right? They've experienced everything, except winning the last game of the year. So I think they got a really good blend of just. A lot's happened to both of them in the last 2 years, whether it be injury, not winning games, or winning games. So in life, when you get that kind of experience and then you get two high-quality individuals that happen to be really good players, I think you got some really good leadership at the top.
We see Jorian's stats. We watch him play on the weekends, and we know how good he is. But what is something that maybe we're not seeing about Jorian that you get to see in his development, in his at-bats? What is something that maybe stands out to you?
I mean, what you guys don't get to see, which is pretty incredible, is his work ethic and his aptitude. Like there's hitters that are really good, but they don't have any aptitude, meaning like if you tell them to do something, they just can't do it. You tell him, and you got to be careful. Make sure you're telling him the right stuff. And he's that part has been great. That's part in recruiting you don't always know. Mm-hmm. You try to. I think he's just put in massive amounts of work, and I think you're seeing, I mean, he's earned it. Like, he had to wait a little bit. I thought we appropriately put him in the right spots to get him experience, and to his credit, he took advantage of it. I think you can see progressions throughout games with him. I think you saw it in that Texas at-bat when he got down off a lefty and walked. I think you saw it on Saturday against Schmidt, LSU, when he swung at a 3-2 breaker, 2-2 breaker, and then the guy threw the same one the next at bat. He takes it for a walk. The hitting's one thing, right? Like when he strikes the baseball, he's going to hit it probably harder than anyone. So it's that continued development and controlling the strike zone, and just once he really believes, and I think he's getting there, about what he is and what he can be, he probably will be.
Let me jump in there real quick, follow that up. When did you notice him? Like at what age? And like, is this kind of what you envisioned early on?
No, he was really recruited late. It was last fall when I got the job. He was a very, very unique situation. I've told people this. I feel like he's, in this day and age, there's not like diamonds in the rough anymore, especially one like that. So, yeah, it's pretty incredible that he's here, to be honest with you, and I'm super happy for him, and he's going to continue to grow. But you saw it, right? But the progression and how hard he's worked is something you don't know. And I'm telling you, that dude's put in a ton of work, so he deserves all the success he's getting. But we got to continue to go.
No, the past is never indicative or predictive of the future. And as you guys get ready for another road test against a talented ball club and a talented pitching staff, what do you see from the Florida Gators and what challenges they're going to present for you guys in their home ballpark?
It's like every time you start scouting SEC pitchers, you're just like, you're like, oh man, these guys are good, right? There's no like, oh yeah, this guy's okay. They're all good. I mean, just big leaguers all over the roster. You'll see that, especially, I mean, their Friday guy, their Saturday guy, like guy threw on Saturdays, that guy who was a freshman, he threw against us in Omaha. So he's obviously gotten better. And Florida's always super talented. I mean, maybe year in and year out, like they're up there with having just the most pure talent, just because, you know, where they're at, and those coaches, I mean, they do a great job, like really well coached, play hard, and they got professional players all over the field.
Offensively, any thoughts on Florida?
Yeah, I think you can look at stats are one thing, right? If you want to play the compare game, but they definitely don't tell the whole story. And what they have is supreme talent level that if you make mistakes, like they're going to make you pay. And I know they've had a couple guys that might not be having the years that they wanted to have, but years can change just like that. We just don't want them to change on us. So it's supremely talented, can really bloody you up if you make mistakes. You've
already played 6 conference series and obviously had that non-conference weekend up in Arlington. Are there any teams that the Gators compare to that A&M fans have seen you guys take on already? Will that be offensively or pitching?
I mean, from a pitching standpoint, they're going to be in that realm of like, it's just pure stuff of like Oklahoma, Texas, LSU. Offensively, they're like pretty typical SEC. If you look at the SEC in general, there's not a lot of, it's pretty straight up baseball, right? Like you got your guys that you want to run it out of the yard. You got a couple guys that can run. Not a ton of stolen bases in our leagues outside of a few teams, but from a pitching standpoint, like it's pretty high octane, and they always are. Like they always have the arms that Florida always has. It's just what they do. So they're like all these other teams in the SEC. To be honest with you, none of us are better than the other team. There's not one team ever, really, in my opinion, when you stack it up, that's better. It's just about who plays the best baseball from a talent perspective. No one else is better than the other team.
I know it's been 6 days and he played quite a bit, but how's Hakopian doing?
Good. Yeah, he's I think he got a little something. I don't talk to him much about it, to be honest. He doesn't need that. He's great. He's awesome. I think he got a little like clear braces thing at the bottom. He might have to have some other stuff done, but he's been practicing. He's been good.
Great stuff, Coach. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it. Michael Earley here on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break, a little bit more baseball on the other side. Right now, when it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep at Paragon Financial. What you need to do is visit the website, paragon-adv.com, or call them up, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Crystal ball. How about I told you that A&M would be in this position, let's say on March 1st? Would you have believed it?
No. I don't think one bit.
Okay.
Right? Especially after the way you saw conference play begin.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, March 1st? A&M was pretty good in the non-conference.
Yeah, but I still think we didn't know.
But there was a lot of unknown.
Right.
If you had told me on March 1st that A&M would be a half game out of first place with 4 conference series to play, I'd be like, that is a best case scenario. Best case scenario. And the thing is, I don't think they've played their best yet.
No, they haven't played their best. The only thing that I worry about is not even a worry. It's just a fact. Like, this is the SEC. You can't, I mean, unless you're the 1927 Yankees or you're Dodgers, right? Like that.
Well,
you can't keep going on the road and just dominating. I guess you can, but like, it's like, I love this momentum they're on that I don't want to see just a little bit like, they lost the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird feeling because I got used to like, all right, you got to go on the road. Maybe you'll win one, right? They swept LSU. I love that song. They swept LSU. They did. Like, and even if LSU's struggling, it's still freaking LSU.
They swept Texas. I know we didn't see a third game because of the rain that Sunday.
2-game sweep.
But they swept Texas and they swept LSU. They're 5-0 in their last two conference weekends against your two biggest rivals. You're playing a team that was in the top 5, and then you were playing a team that was desperate to win at home. And you went in there and pretty comprehensively beat them down, both of them.
Yep.
I know the game on Friday against Texas was close. I know the game on Friday in Baton Rouge was a dogfight till the end. A&M blew it open in the 6th and even added some insurance. Yeah, A&M's, they're playing great baseball, David. Great baseball. And I hope this fan base, and I don't think anybody really is, I don't think you should be worried about the shoe dropping because they've shown you some real signs that they haven't yet hit their peak, especially with the pitching. The offense has been elite all year long. They're still averaging over 9 runs a game, even after only scoring 5 against LSU on Sunday. And the pitching still has some room to grow. Shane Sadeo's been much better in his last 2 outings. Weston Moss gave you his best conference start of the year on Sunday, but they're still a little thin in the bullpen. But you've got guys like Luke Billings, maybe a Hunter Vincent if they could get more outings in the midweek where you start feeling good about them impacting and eating up innings, important outs. Every out's important in conference play. You got to get 27 of them. A&M's been getting 27 of them, but it's only been a select few arms, whether it's Gavin Lyons and Clayton Freshcorn, your 2 most reliable guys. But don't sleep on what Ethan Darden's done lately, too. He's been really, really good. And I think we've still got some more from Juan Vargas as well.
Richard, I'm going to give the baseball bunch credit. I'm pretty sure I have the date correct. I think it was the Friday during the Vanderbilt series where they lost the first game on Thursday. Okay. Yep. And I remember the panel, I think Scott was here too, but I might be wrong, but the panel discussing some of the similarities to the 22 season with the pitching staff and almost pontificating, that's the second time I've used that word today, what it could be if these guys rounded the form, right? Like, because at this point, that season, we hadn't seen some of the pitching actually reach their full potential. And it was on that show that you all were saying, like, this is what could happen if things trend in the direction. And since that point, that's exactly what's happened.
Absolutely. And this team is kind of in that 22 mold, right? Where you think the way they win is, quote, the word was unsustainable. I don't think this is unsustainable anymore because this pitching staff is better than what you were getting throughout the 30-game conference schedule in 2022. Dallas and Detmer, they were very, very inconsistent for the majority of the regular season. You're getting more consistency from guys like Shane Sadeo now, back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
He also showed you in the non-conference that he was capable of being the guy. Aiden Sims in the preseason and the fall, we talked about potentially becoming famous once conference play rolled around, and he has made a name for himself. He is currently your leader in ERA and WHIP. I think he's playing and pitching his way towards all SEC acclaim as a sophomore. And then Weston Moss saw what he's capable of last weekend. And then the offense is way better than the one we saw in 2022.
When you say way better, like
way better, like they're in the mold of 24 and 89, like the 2 best offenses in school history. they're in that realm more so than 2022.
In 24, what did they hit? 140 home runs? I know they went a lot longer.
I don't know the exact number, but they set the school record.
They set the school record. Okay. It's interesting, too, about 22 that, and I'm just doing revisionist history, if that's not even, I'm just looking back. If I remember correctly, that's the year after Mississippi State won the national championship, and I don't think they made it to the postseason. Or if they did, they barely snuck in. Am I right about that?
Mississippi State did not make the postseason after winning the national championship. Okay. And then in 2022, you know who won the national championship?
Was it Ole Miss?
It was Ole Miss. What'd they do in 23?
They didn't make it.
They didn't make the postseason.
That's right. And then A&M didn't win the national championship in 24, but they were a game away, don't make the postseason. LSU wins the national championship last season. I don't know if they're going to make the postseason. I'm looking at some of these similarities just for the sake of where A&M was in relation to its competition in 22 and how they are right now in 26.
I think a lot of that, I don't know, what's the word? My brain's not firing on all cylinders on this Thursday morning, but there's ebbs and flows to it right now, even with these top programs. And I still think Texas A&M is one of the top college baseball programs in the country. Most of the programs in the SEC are. When you think about LSU and even Tennessee, after where Tony Vitello got them, I know they're in the first year under Coach Elander. There's going to be ebbs and flows to it, and you're seeing it in Baton Rouge, and maybe that's the extreme right now. But roster building and portal evaluations matter so much in today's college baseball that it can be the difference between you reloading and going on another national title run or potentially missing out on the postseason. We know A&M did last year, and it looks like LSU's going to this year.
I know character always matters, right? But I wonder in this current NIL climate that we're in, if you almost have to put even a bigger premium on character. Not saying that LSU got bad guys, not saying that at all, but like for the development of guys rushing together, right, that hadn't ever played together. I wonder how much more of an emphasis some certain programs put on that.
For A&M, I think the character of the guys on the 25 club is very, very high. Like guys like Jace Lavallette, we know what kind of human being he is, and Hayden Schott, what a great dude, and getting to know Wyatt Hensler, he's been awesome. And, of course, there are so many others, Miles Patton and Gavin Cash, and I apologize if I'm glossing over a name or two. What I think hurt A&M last year was more so the injuries rather than the character. For LSU, I'm not sure it's injuries or necessarily character. I'm not going to speak on those guys because I don't know them. I haven't covered them. I think it's more production and the inability to maybe make the jump from the mid-major to the SEC level. They just haven't gotten enough production of the guys they evaluated out of the portal. And Jay Johnson, to his credit, has been very open and honest about that over the last couple of weeks. But it's not going to change anything this year. It's not like there's a trade deadline where they can go make some moves. And I don't think you're bringing any minor league baseball players back to college baseball like we saw in college hoops down the backstretch of the SEC season in February.
Do you think college baseball will trend in that direction, though? Or it's such a
I hope
purist
not.
sport?
I hope not. But, if there's
all it takes is one.
If there's precedent, and it seems like there is starting to be precedent on the basketball side, you can see the similarities between the way college basketball is run and college baseball. I think someone will try, but all I'll say is I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. I think just college athletics are getting a little wonky, but can't fault Bucky McMillan and his staff or any of the other staffs for trying. And if you're going to be a college baseball program that tests those waters, credit to you, because if it's within the rules, go for it. If it can make your team better, go for it, because what are Michael Earley and Bucky McMillan and Mike Elko, and I said this on B-Team yesterday, but insert head coach here, what are they paid to do?
Right.
Win games, operate within the bounds of the sport, and don't put your university or young people at risk. And if you're checking all those boxes, I think it's ethical.
So when it comes to rankings, I don't think you care that much, but do you think A&M is appropriately ranked based on what they've been able to do?
I think so. And I know a lot of people are going to complain about being ranked behind the school in Austin, and I understand that. But college baseball rankings don't necessarily fluctuate as much as other sports do, especially from the preseason to the back half of the schedule A&M has built its resume. Texas is still ranked, not because they haven't built a resume. They're still very impressive. They're a game behind Texas A&M in the best conference in the country, and they haven't played Missouri. I know they got to play South Carolina, but they lost a game in Columbia. Texas is appropriately ranked, but so is Texas A&M. The two can be separate entities and separate resumes. Texas, I think the pollsters are seeing a little bit more talent on the pitching staff. Maybe that's why they're ranked ahead of Texas A&M. But A&M keeps proving naysayers wrong week in and week out, and that's all you can ask from them.
So have they done enough to kind of maintain their position? I'm not saying ranking per se. I'm just saying the path that they're on. If they do drop a series but win a game, or if they, especially on the road, like I think we're all hoping and getting used to the potential of this team maybe being a national seed. Like, what do they have to do the rest of the way to stay on that path?
So there's a path to it, right? There's a clear path to it. There's a much clearer path to being a national seed than winning the SEC. I think to win this league, it's probably going to take 20 SEC wins, mostly because Georgia's got one more win than A&M does.
And they got the series.
And they have a tiebreaker, so technically they're a win and a half or a game and a half above A&M, I guess. Although there's not going to be a tie. Unless Georgia loses a game because of weather, the tiebreaker scenario is not going to come into play. It's going to be win percentage. But Georgia still has to play Missouri, and they get them at home. So Georgia's got a clear path to 20. But for A&M, what you should be watching is a path to 18 conference wins. And at 12-5, it's going to take 6-6 to get there. Now look at the RPIs of the teams you have yet to play. I'm starting to write my series preview already. That'll go out tomorrow morning. Start with RPI number 12 this week. Then you get RPI number 4 next week in Auburn. God. And then you get number 7 on the road at Ole Miss. And then you finish the year with RPI number 18 in Mississippi State. There's a path to 6-6. To get to 20, that's going to take 8 more conference wins. That's at least 3 series victories against those four clubs, 2 on the road, 2 at home. That's tough, even for the best teams in this league. And I think A&M is one of those best teams in the league. But for A&M to maintain this path they're on, because I think that was the original question, keep playing good baseball, keep playing comprehensive baseball, don't beat yourself, and know that every other team you're going to face from here on out is capable of beating you. And it's not an indictment on you. It's what Mike Earley said right here just a few minutes ago. No team in this league is better than anybody else.
Right. So you need to go 500, basically, is what you're saying.
Go 500. If you go 6-6 to close the year, you're a lay-down top 8 national seed, and you're going to have postseason baseball across the street at the corner of Bush and Olson to Omaha.
So win your home series and at least don't get swept.
Win your home series and don't get swept.
Which is basically the recipe all year.
It's been the recipe for success in this league.
Yeah.
And A&M has given themselves some leeway with the last 2 weekends.
Great stuff. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow on the Baseball Bunch. And I'll see you in the office. How about that?
Hey.
Right now we're talking Heritage Films. And if you have not told your family story yet, you're missing out. You're not promised tomorrow. My brother from Miami, Robert's flying in this morning to hang out with my dad and my mom. My dad's 95. He'll be 96 in July. My mom's in her late 80s. And we did a Heritage Film, 2022, and it was awesome to do it, especially because you're not promised tomorrow. And if you got a family member that needs to be honored so you continue to tell that story for the next generation and the generation after that, reach out to Chance McClain. He can do your family story, he can do your family business story, or your family ranch story. Call Chance up at 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341, or visit yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. Hey, everybody, we're back on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for a weekly conversation with Aaron Torres. This is brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more, millikenreserve.com. I got the hiccups. That's great for radio. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Aaron Torres. What's up, AT?
Not much, bud. I mean, listen, if you need me to vamp for a while, if you need me to go long on answers, that's kind of my specialty. So I'm happy to help you if you need me. Just let me know, okay?
That's what I heard, that when you go on with Ryan Fowler, the beard himself, it's like a 40-minute conversation. With TexAgs, you're getting on, 12 minutes?
No, and I appreciate your brevity. I mean, Ryan just, I was telling Matt Moscona down in Baton Rouge this the other day, because Matt actually brought it up. I thought it was just me. I thought, I'm conversational. I really vibe with Fowler. And Moscona on air just says, no, yeah, you go on with Fowler, huh? That guy sure knows how to carry on a conversation. And, what I said about Ryan, I don't know how they do their break structure down in Alabama, but little inside radio. we have these things called hard outs that, you're supposed to, like 54, 55, we got to get off air so that we can pay our bills. And Ryan will just take me up to 102 without even thinking about it. So, he's a unique character, but do love going on with him. And it's like going on with you. Never know where it's going to go. Last week, we started talking about Alabama and then basically did 40 minutes on Lane Kiffin and realistic expectations for him. So it's fun, but I also appreciate you, keeping me in line and, not letting me just go on for 40 minutes like Fowler does.
Well, see, we do get along, Aaron Torres and David Nuño. You can catch his work at atonline.com. Or, of course, you can go to Fox Sports Radio and listen to all his great content. All right, got to get your take about A&M dipping their toes in the G League waters. What'd you make about Bryson Warren committing to the Aggies?
Oh, I'm sure this was a hot topic with you and Fowler. It's now anytime it is interesting how anytime a player over the age of 20 years old commits, I have a slew of Alabama fans in my mentions because I was pretty outspoken about the Charles Bediako stuff, but I still stand by, and I don't know a ton about Bryson Warren's background, but I still stand by Charles Bediako is still the only player that I'm aware of that was in college, declared for the draft, went through the draft process, realized he wasn't good enough to be a pro, and said, I want to come back. And so, we could debate about what the rules should be, what the rules shouldn't be. Everybody knows that in this year, in 2020, whatever this is, 2026, that deadline is this week. And, there are going to be players that declare for the draft that know that once I keep my name in after this deadline, I cannot come back to college. So as far as Bryson Warren, again, I don't know a ton about him. But listen, I've been actually very impressed by Bucky McMillan and what he's done just in this portal. And I think what he does really well is, and what I respect about him is he identifies people that fit how he wants to play. It sounds like the most obvious thing in the world, but I think when you get into the portal, it's so easy to just default to getting the biggest names or players you're familiar with. And I think he does an excellent job of making sure that guys that are going to fit his system and play the way that he wants to play. I've been very impressed. I like the Reese kid that also committed earlier this week as well. Like I said, I don't know as much about Bryson Warren other than that he's an older player, a G League player. And if you want to keep going down that path, we can. But in general, I've been pretty impressed by what Bucky's done overall. AT,
that's kind of where I am with it. That, look, I don't love that G League players can play in college, right? Or professional players. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's allowed. And if it's allowed, I want my team to do whatever it can to win. Now, we can have a different argument if it should be allowed or not, but if other teams are allowed to get away with it, I want my team to be able to get away with it. And if somebody were to say to me, what's the difference with Bediako? Look, I understand that, if you're an Alabama fan, you don't see a lot of a difference. The difference I see is A&M's not going to play him unless it is approved, right? And Bediako hadn't been approved yet. He hadn't been granted that waiver to play, and they played him. So that's where I see the difference. But again, I got maroon goggles. Are you on the same page or not?
No, you're 100% right. And, first of all, that is the other big thing about Bediako. He is still, as best as I know, the only player in the history of college athletics that wasn't cleared by the NCAA, and they still played him anyway. That is a huge difference. What I would say about Bryson Warren, it's a very unique setup for a very unique set of guys, okay? But I'll try to not bore too many people. But about 6-7 years ago, pre-NIL, the NBA started this program called G League Ignite, and there was also Overtime Elite, in which basically it was a way for high school players to get paid, small amounts of money. I don't know what it was, $50,000, $100,000. I know that's not a small amount for some, but relative to what we see in NIL now, it's obviously not very much, right? And it was just a way, hey, you don't want to go to college, come train, be a professional full time until you're draft eligible, okay? And so where Bryson Warren fits in with all of the other guys is he never played in the NBA, and he never even necessarily went through the NBA draft process. It was just, hey, your time with our program is done. You're not eligible for college at that time. And so now the only alternative is you have to go pro. It's like the old NCAA term, old NCAA commercial. You have to go pro in something. Like, you don't got to leave, but you got to get up out of here, right? And so Bryson Warren, this to me is the difference. And I remember, Louisville signed a player named London Johnson. I don't even know if he's still with the team, but I bring it up because the argument for guys like this is not the same as Charles Bediako. The argument is they're 21, 22 years old. They've played professionally, but they never went through the NBA draft process. They never played in the NBA. And the difference is that they're essentially professionals, like you would see a Ruben Dominguez last year, like you would see these other various professionals that played overseas. The only difference between a Bryson Warren and a Ruben Dominguez is Ruben Dominguez was not born in the United States, and the pro league that Bryson Warren played in was the G League as opposed to Bundesliga or whatever leagues there are over in Europe, and I'm not a European basketball expert. So I don't know if that makes any sense at all. And again, to your point, we can debate what the rules should actually be, but the way that I still see it, Bryson Warren is no different than a 19 or 20-year-old player from Latvia who played in Latvia for the last 4 years. It's just that he happens to be from the United States, never went through the NBA draft process, never was selected by an NBA team, never, played in NBA games. That to me is the fundamental difference.
Talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Are you a big NFL draft guy? You're going to be paying attention tonight? I'm sure you'll probably be broadcasting it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask this. I was going to ask you, I know there's a lot of Aggies. I think that you were an Indy, and I think there was a record-setting number of Aggies in the Combine. I just don't feel like there's a lot of buzz. It feels like, to me, the Ty Simpson thing has become kind of a forced thing. And, as somebody who obviously not only loves college football but covers college football, I find it funny because, the Ty Simpson, the argument for Ty Simpson is correct. Through 8 games, he was the best quarterback in college football. The problem is they don't stop playing after 8 games, and not only did he struggle as the competition got better, but Fernando Mendoza's biggest games were, I don't know, the Final Four that he played. Ohio State on a neutral field, Alabama on a neutral field, Oregon on a neutral field, Miami on a neutral field, and he was awesome in all of them. And so I just bring it up because it just feels like we're trying to turn Ty Simpson into a thing. And I don't know if it's because, Indiana's the non-traditional program. There's not a lot of great quarterbacks. Just doesn't feel like there's as much buzz. So, yeah, of course I'll be, watching it tonight. And, of course, I'll be talking about it on Fox Sports Radio all weekend. I don't feel like there's the juice that there normally is. You might, again, feel differently knowing the maroon flavor that's going to be tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. But I just don't feel like it's quite what it has been in the years past.
I am more interested because of the amount of Aggies that could go in the first round, right? We're potentially 1, 2, or 3, right? That's all been discussed with Chase Basantis, Casey Concepcion, and Cassius Howell. And from an Aggie perspective, I'm more interested. From a national perspective, I feel exactly what you said. Like the buzz for this draft doesn't feel like what it's been in years past. It doesn't feel like the same way.
No. And, I do think that's a byproduct of not a lot of core. And I think the other thing, too, which is obvious, but we've known who's going number 1 since the day the Raiders won that spot. Now, where I think it would have become interesting is if the Raiders definitively did not need a quarterback. So if the Tennessee Titans got the number 1 pick, then it becomes interesting. Then you're talking trades, then whatever. But yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. And I think what will be interesting, Nuño, is, we hear every year, well, wait till next year with the quarterbacks. It's because I hear it now with, wait till Arch is available, wait till this, wait till that. I'm like, we were literally, why, Nuño, why are some people in our business so dumb? Because all I hear is next year is going to be one of the great quarterback classes we've ever seen. Okay, we were literally saying that at this time last year when we thought Kate Klubnik, Drew Aller, and Garrett Nussmeier were going to be first-round picks. We were literally saying it the year before when we thought Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck were going to be first-round picks. So I guess I'm just doing a little side tangent here, but the draft is always better when there's 2 or 3 what we deem to be elite quarterbacks, and obviously there's always going to be teams that need them. I'm just not sold that we're a year away from this historic class because there's a guy named Manning at the top of the list because he was supposed supposed to be leading the charge in this year's draft cycle. And I don't know if you're watching tonight, Nuño, but I don't think he's getting selected anywhere this evening or the next 3 days.
Talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live. AT, Todd Golden, NBA. Is it a thing? Do you believe it?
I would have until what happened this week. And for people who don't plug in the college hoops news cycle in April, he had 2 players that would have been first-round basketball picks, both announced they were coming back. And there was actually a pretty good media push. Tommy Houck, who was first-team All-SEC this year, he would have been a lottery pick, top 15 pick. And I'll just be quick on this, but there were a couple really good articles written, and you could tell behind the scenes how much it was work, right? Because you're asking a kid to turn down $4 or $5 million guaranteed next year. Well, you got to be able to figure out a way to match that money. And so I don't think Todd Golden spends the last 6 weeks bringing back his roster, raising all of that money just to say in a week, hey, I'm going to go coach in the NBA. I know the ties, for people who don't know, Golden State, Steve Kerr, it sounds like he might step down in Golden State. Todd Golden was at the University of San Francisco. So I see the ties. I just find it hard to believe that he spent the last 6 weeks, putting together this roster. And now fast forward, he's going to say, I appreciate you guys giving up on your NBA dreams, but it's time for me to go chase mine. I don't see that happening. I just don't.
Hey, I'm just going to ask you one NBA question because I've lost interest in the NBA over the years, and that sucks for me because I used to love it. But this Kevin Durant, LeBron James series, Rockets, Lakers, the Rockets just don't look like a team that knows how to play basketball. I'll just leave it there.
Listen, as somebody who also used to be a huge NBA fan who really doesn't follow it very much anymore, it felt like they were a team that until about the final 2 weeks of the season, everybody had kind of written off, and then they got hot in the last few weeks when everybody's resting players, people get hurt, whatever, you shut people down, and then all of a sudden it's like, watch out for the Rockets. And I understand the Lakers have some injuries, but no, I'm with you. Listen, I have it on as background noise. I have to talk about it on Fox Sports Radio, but I think there's interesting conversations about Kevin Durant. If they lose in round 1, he keeps picking what he thinks is the best spot, and they keep losing early. But I don't know that through 2 games with Game 3 tomorrow night that I have any incredible, amazing takeaways so far.
By the way, I do want to just say this. It started going south around the All-Star break when the KD burner thing came out. Just saying. I don't know if you can correlate missing shots and not playing defense to that, but that's when it went south.
I do find him very interesting, and since he's left Golden State, he has handpicked 3 spots that are seemingly advantageous for him, and all 3 times, we'll see what happens in Houston, but all 3 times it's essentially crashed and burned. I think that will be a discourse if they lose, especially in 4 to 5 games, which is what it is trending to be, in this playoff series against the Lakers.
Appreciate you, AT. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, my man. Thank you guys for having me. Enjoy the draft tonight. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Later, buddy. That's Aaron Torres. I know I got to hit a break, but I don't know. I just felt like talking. Moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're a business owner and you're ready to take your business to the next level, Caldwell Country Chevrolet's got the expanded selection to help you find the commercial vehicles to meet your everyday need, and they got it all. The trucks that you want, the medium duty, the flatbeds, you name it, they got it. They can handle those tough jobs that your business needs. And they are a business elite dealer, which means they understand what it takes to keep your company moving forward. They believe in supporting local businesses. They believe in supporting Aggie athletics. So go check them out. It's a short drive. The beginnings of Caldwell to the edge of, the beginnings of Bryan to the edge of Caldwell, about a 15-minute drive. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today." From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. In the next segment, Kyle Peterson from ESPN on the SEC network. He'll actually more ESPN. He'll join us. More baseball. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Carry the 2, 5. Yeah, so some more baseball on the program. And then the fan show, guys. I'm sure we'll start off with baseball there. We'll get into the NFL draft. We will also get into this G League, the Warren addition to A&M's roster. So we'll have all that and much, much more. You're listening to the world-famous cult classic TexAgs Live.
All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner Schuler's Rollo Insurance Studio. We are working on getting Kyle Peterson, KP, on the program. We'll let you know when we're able to get him. He was on the call last weekend in Baton Rouge with Chris Burke and Carl Ravitch, so hopefully we can get him here on the program here momentarily. I did want to kind of go through, there's a lot of opinions, and I think even on the A&M side of the additions to the roster and how it can look from I think we just, as a fan base, need to look at it differently, as it's not the Bediako situation. I understand why some people, especially if you're coming from the Alabama side, how you see it as the same. But it is not the same situation, because one guy never received his eligibility and played in games, and the other is, he's only going to play if there is eligibility, right? So the only way that we see Bryson Warren playing is if he gets approved. And Bucky, and Luke reported it earlier, Bucky and his staff feel pretty good that he's going to be approved. So we can argue about the rules or the loopholes in the lack of rules, or however it's designated. But I guess the question becomes, do you want your team to win at a high level with what is available and what is approved and what is allowed? And if it's allowed and approved, do you want your team to take advantage of that world? And my answer to that is, heck yes, I do. I understand, like Olin's point earlier and several of the texters' points earlier of I don't know if I don't like the direction this is going. Okay, that's fine. But it's going that direction. There are certain things that we can disagree with what is allowed and what is not allowed. And also, from a sports perspective, I love that Dabo is I'm not playing this game. But Dabo's team isn't as good as everybody else anymore, right? Dabo didn't want to play the transfer game. He kind of did it a little bit last year. I don't even know how he did this offseason. But what he wanted to do and what they were able to do, to me, is more about you don't want to get left behind. And Nick, help me think of things that have happened in life and in technology that if you don't play catch up, you get I'm gonna throw up a couple examples as you think. In the 80s, my dad was what? I don't know. 80s was 40 years ago. So my dad was in his 50s. He had to learn how to use PCs and computers at a high level because that's what things had to transition to. In today's world,
learning how to catch up with AI or how to compete with AI.
1,000%. You have to be able to use AI to make you, and I don't like AI. I don't like that kids in high school sometimes are using it to write their essays, right? I don't like it. I think
some people can't function now without it, without asking ChatGPT how to do, basic things.
And by the way, Kyle Peterson says we can call him. He said the leak didn't go through. Maybe he gave me the wrong number. So I'm going to send them to, hey, Nick, continue down that thought so I can respond to Kyle.
Yeah, well, kind of what you're talking about down that path of learning how to, keep growing with the changing times. Like we were talking about AI, people learning that. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's Bucky's just playing by the rules of the game right now and trying to build the best team that he can and the roster that he can within the rules. And, we heard Luke say it earlier. It's guys like this have been approved several times already. It might be the first time in the SEC, so we'll see if that goes through. But I feel like they wouldn't have taken him, wouldn't have allowed him to announce if they weren't confident that the NCAA would approve him and the SEC would approve him. So, I think it'll be a great addition once it all is said and done. And once we actually see him play games for A&M, I think this will kind of get pushed to the back. Maybe the opposing fans will, bring it up every game we play. But eventually it'll blow over and he'll feel like a normal part of the team. But, that's the way I see it. I get what you're getting at, though, David, with, learning to change with the times. And heck, it's only recently all these teams had to learn how to adjust with the NIL era and how to best utilize funds for their players that way and whatnot. And I feel like schools are just now catching up with the rev sharing model now and having to allocate a certain amount of money for teams and however they do that. And, I feel like A&M has kind of been in the forefront on that. And here's the basketball team on the forefront of a rule that we don't really like, but hey, might as well try to take advantage of it if it's going to work and if it's legal.
Well, here, and I've just been thinking of different things. Like for my industry, we've had to evolve, and I evolved when I had to, and I've kind of become a dinosaur at the same time. Is the social media component, right? Like I had to evolve. I think I kind of came up with it too, so I didn't have to evolve as much as maybe somebody like Olin or, I worked with Bob Slovak and Bob Allen in Houston, and it was just different than what it is now, right? So, but I have kind of I've gotten away from social media because I just don't like the toxicity of it. But like if you don't evolve in your job, and that's exactly what Bucky's doing right here from basketball perspective. Let's go to the Bucky's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our friend Kyle Peterson, KP, from ESPN, joining the program. Kyle, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, so I want to ask you, I'm going to ask you something that's not A&M baseball related, but could become college baseball related. So I don't know if you saw A&M basketball just added a young man from the G League that never played never played in the NBA, but did play G League basketball, never played college basketball, and now he's joining A&M. You can agree or disagree with that, but that's happening, and it's happening in other places. Do you see that happening in college baseball based on the precedent that we're seeing in college basketball?
I hope not. I hope what we get to is a 5-for-4 rule. If there's something that's outlandish, then potentially another year. But college athletics, to me, and I understand it's a massive business, but I think that it's not intended for 24 and 25-year-olds. I just don't think it is. I think that you keep it to a 5-year window to get your 4 years in, regardless of whether you start at JUCO or D3 or whatever it is. And if you play pro, you're a pro. Like, end of story. And granted, you're making more in college sometimes. You're making a hell of a lot more in college than you are in the G League. But I think that everybody's got the ability to make their own decision, which is great. But if you decide to go pro, you're a pro.
Talking to Kyle Peterson here on TexAgs Live. Kyle, let's talk about A&M as a whole, the baseball program. What maybe you thought they were going to be when the season started, and what it turns out who they are so far, through more than half the year.
Well, I think the piece we didn't know about what are they going to be is the freshmen. Grohovac, Sorrell, the guys that they had coming back. You assume that Akopian would be what everybody thought he was, and I think he looked really good last weekend. But we didn't know that they'd have 3 true freshmen that are kind of pivotal in their lineup, both from an offensive, defensive standpoint. They're going to do what now they're doing. So that was, I would say, the surprise piece of it. I think everybody thought they'd hit. I don't know if we thought they'd hit quite this much, but some of that is because of what the freshmen had done. And then the question was, how much are they going to pitch? And last weekend actually the last 2 weekends were really good steps in that direction. I don't think there's a ton of depth, but history has shown that you don't necessarily need a bunch of depth when you get into the postseason if you win. If you get beat, it's a little bit different, and you got to fight back through. But if you win, you can get through it with 6 arms. And I think they've got 6 that they trust right now. So I think they're very complete. They defend at a really high level. Obviously, they're very offensive. And it's not just based on the home run. That's what I like about the offense. They're selective. They make you throw strikes. Obviously, they punish you if you do. I think they're really good.
We were talking to Kyle Peterson here on TexAgs Live. Kyle, also, KP, how has the opinion of maybe Michael Earley changed nationally? Because last year, obviously, it was a very rough year for A&M baseball, but there are several injuries that kind of contributed to some of the downfall.
Yeah, it's incredible how much better a coach you get when you win and when your guys are healthy and they get hits. It's laughable sometimes in our sport. Like, he didn't forget how to be a hitting coach last year. They just got hurt. And that happens sometimes. And they didn't, like, their main guys got hurt. I think he's super impressive. And what impresses me the most is not the fact that they're winning. It's that when we talked to him before the Texas series, he was very open just about the things that he thought he had done wrong the previous year. And the main thing was just trying to do too much. And going out and getting Cliff and having somebody else that can, manage different parts of preparation in the game. He can focus more on the hitting piece of it, not feel like he's got to be the GM of everything all the time, is a massive step forward. I mean, the greatest leaders are the greatest delegators. You just got to find the right ones to delegate to. And I think that he's got a really good group to delegate to. And then sometimes it takes you a little bit longer to get comfortable delegating, because you get in there and you feel like everything's on your shoulders and you got to make sure that you do the right things. I think he's a lot more comfortable this year. He's a lot more comfortable because they're healthy and they're really good too. But I think he's just a lot more comfortable with the realities that come with being a head coach. And I think the way that he has set up his staff gives them the best opportunity to succeed. I'm a huge fan.
Kyle, talk to me a little bit about the environment that A&M had here at home versus Texas, and then a week later going to a place that is traditionally a very hard place to play, and still being able to get, I know LSU's struggling this year, but still being able to get a sweep at a place that they hadn't done it since, 1978?
Yeah, I don't know what the time frame was that they had done it, but Blue Belt was incredible. I mean, it's always really good, but you bring in, everything that was that series, and then they win both games. We were not going to do the Sunday game, but it sounds like people sat there in the rain forever. I tell you what surprised me the most is after the rain delay, because it poured, they all came back. And that doesn't always happen. I mean, sometimes everybody's soaking wet, and, Jimmy's mad because he wants to go home, and you're half full when they come back in. It was jammed when they started it up again, and it was a good hour and a half. But it's a really cool college baseball environment, and it created the surroundings and the games and the storylines and everything else for the reason that we do what we do on the TV side. It was really cool. And LSU, honestly, man, they took that crowd out of it for an entire weekend, and people don't do that in Baton Rouge. I mean, there were times it was the opposite in Baton Rouge. If you go look at the Sunday crowd, you go look at the Saturday crowd late, I mean, it was half full. And that doesn't happen at Alex Box very often. And it was a very clear difference between the two teams as far as who the better team was. And A&M, kind of beat them up the entire weekend. So I don't care if it's half full. It's still hard to go sweep LSU anytime when you're at Alex Box, but they did it in pretty convincing fashion.
KP, let's talk a little bit about their pitching staff. To me, that's been the biggest change here over the last three series is they're getting very good pitching, something that, at times we ask, is this a sustainable product on the field when you have mashed your way through to try to get to Omaha? The pitching recently has really risen to the occasion.
Yeah, and you're going to have to pitch. I mean, Omaha's it's just not a crazy offensive ballpark. And so at some point, you're going to have to win some games 4-3. No, I think there's good signs. I mean, I thought today was pretty good. Game one, I know, which I actually loved. He was not excited that they took him out when they took him out, but that's kind of what you want from a starter. I mean, you don't want them smiling when they go get you. Sims is their best for me. I think the stuff mix is a little bit different than you see from other guys, so he's hard to prepare for. And then Moss, the question was, can he settle into being a starter? He was so good out of the bullpen before, and he was great game three. And sometimes that sweep game, you especially at LSU, I mean, they're coming firing for you because they're just trying to get one skin over the course of the weekend. And I thought he was outstanding and did what he needed to do and pitched into the fifth. To me, the bullpen is their top guys are plenty good enough. Freshcorn's been great. But I think that, depth becomes the question and the issue. But depth is the question and the issue for most bullpens. Like, it's not just A&M. It's 95% of the pitching staffs around the country. But what I've seen on the mound in the last 2 weeks, I'll tell you what impressed me the most last weekend. They threw a boatload of strikes. And you can have all the stuff in the world, light radar guns up, and have scouts get all excited. And if you walk 7 guys, you're probably going to get your backside handed to you at some point. And they just didn't. I mean, they threw a ton of strikes the entire weekend. They forced LSU to beat them instead of giving them opportunities. And if they can continue to do that, I mean, with that offense, man, they're as good as anybody when they're doing that, and that includes UCLA and Georgia Tech and everybody else. They are as good as anybody if they're throwing strikes.
KP, last thing for you. What can you tell me about Florida, a team that's got all the talent in the world? They've been kind of up and down. What is A&M getting into this weekend?
They're good. They're really good. I mean, Brendan Lawson, their sophomore, pretty complete hitter. I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick next year. I think he's healthy now. He's battled a few nagging stuffs. It's an older offense, some guys that have been other places. Aiden King's probably the SEC pitcher of the year if you stop the season right now. Liam Peterson's going to go high in the draft this year. I think they've got King going Friday, Peterson going Saturday. It's a bullpen, if it's healthy, that's going to show you a bunch of 95 to 98s. They're from a pure talent standpoint, they're really good. And they're old, and I like old right now in college baseball. It's guys that have been around. There's some portal guys. There's some guys that have been there that got hurt that stayed. They don't have – it's not a crazy SEC record, but – they swept Florida State in the midweek. They took 2 out of 3 at Miami. It's an Omaha roster. Now, it doesn't necessarily play that way every weekend, but it's absolutely an Omaha roster.
That is Kyle Peterson from ESPN here on TexAgs Live. KP, I appreciate your time, sir. Thanks so much.
All good. Sorry I was late.
Oh, you're all good, man. Thank you very much. That is Kyle Peterson here on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. The fan show guys are in the building. Chit-chat about all the things we've been talking about this morning. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, then you need to check out the Association of Former Students. They bring Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, and The Gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees, and they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. This includes title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, activation, recognition, and social media posts, and much, much more. So if your business is ready to engage with the Aggies, choose a partner with the organization that's been supporting the Aggie Network for the last 140 plus years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fan Show. We've got Roy May in the house. Hello, buddy.
What is going on, buddy?
Yeah, we're just all talking weird. Matt Browning, hey, bud.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, I'm trying to match your voice energy.
Yeah, it just goes up and down sometimes, you know. It's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
On the zone. All right, so let's find it, because we don't have Cooper Patterson here, so I don't know what to ask you guys.
You get to ask the question.
I guess.
Today.
Well, I guess that means you don't get to go first.
Well, he says he never goes first.
We should probably let him go first.
But he went first last week.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Roy May, what's on your mind?
Oh, man. Just a whole lot of things, quite frankly.
Roy did call the sweep last week. I want to just say that one more time. He called the sweep.
You called the LSU sweep?
He called the full sweep.
And I called Rory. I'm 2 for 2 right now.
Wow,
so
you are on fire.
I'm just gonna speak things into existence, basically.
Can you predict the national championship for football?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Let's keep this streak going. I know what's on my mind. A couple of things. One, obviously, fantastic weekend on the Diamond, right? On both of them. And again, you know, I will always sing Trisha Ford's praises, what she's doing with that program. And it's so weird. Well, not weird. It's just it's interesting to see baseball and softball both kind of going through the same things. And it was the same questions, right? It was the same question. Like we know we have the offense, but you know, can we get it done on the bump? Can we get it done in the circle? And finding that combination and these pitchers stepping up. It's Sidney Peters looking so good, and Weston Moss in a starting role. And then all of a sudden, it's a formula that the coaches have to get right, and it's not the same formula every weekend either. Like we understand that because it's such a unique sport, both baseball and softball. Diamond sports are just so unique. So it just, you know, quietly going about our business on the Diamonds. And another big weekend, both teams on the road, both teams facing top 25 opponents. You know, can we keep this ball rolling? Can we keep it going? Can we keep the momentum? And again, sweeps are great. You know, don't get swept on the road, but now it almost feels like the expectation is go win the series on the road. A sweep would be great, right? So that's this momentum that we have going on both Diamond sports. But one thing really that's on my mind that kind of popped up because of the show was Steve McGee's take on you know, the pro stuff and NIL, and you know, you have 5 for 4. KP touched on it as well, talking about you got 5 to play 4, and that's kind of it. But I just thought it was an interesting perspective from Steven's point of view about basketball NIL because of what Steven does for a living.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's very money-minded. You know, it's a numbers game. And I got to thinking about it. And with basketball, it's unique because one guy can make a team. One guy can't make a football team, right? You've got to have, but the impact of one guy is 20% of the team. So it's different how you spend your money. But again, but going back to I thought that was interesting with Steven, just because knowing, you know, his background and kind of where his headspace is professionally, talking about, you know, the money and how the revenue comes in and where it comes in and where it doesn't and where it outflows. But yeah, again, the Diamond sports are they're rolling. It's so fun. The Stars won last night. Like everything's coming up roses right now.
All right, Mr. Browning, what's on your mind?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, pal.
Well, so I was thinking about this too.
Guy.
So
Hey, boss.
I'm gonna stay on the ball. I'm gonna stay on baseballs as well, because it's funny. A month ago, after Oklahoma and Georgia, after losing those 2 series and kind of coming out of that going, you're like, what are we going to look like this year? Well, I mean, I think we from there we've shown who we are a lot. You know, to the point where we go where we're going into Florida. At Florida, against a ranked Florida team, which they've not been great, you know. But talking to Bronny, Bronny was telling us all about the pitching. You know, he studies that. You know, out in the lobby, he was telling us all about the pitching, and they've got really good pitching. But he says it's not super intimidating. But either way, you're going into the series going, we can win the series, right? And we expect to win the series. I mean, on the road, you know, the old saying is, hey, don't get swept at home, or don't get swept on the road. Don't get swept on the road. You know, win your series at home, right? So you go into it normally going, all right, all we got to do is take one and we're okay, right? But no, I'm going in the series expecting, we've been playing so well and the guys are so hot and everybody's relatively healthy, that you're going in the series thinking we can take a series from a blue blood, Florida is a baseball blue blood, on the road, win the series, and just keep this train rolling, right? And so that's super exciting. That part's exciting. And then What else is on my mind is the whole this young man, what you were talking about earlier, the guy from the G League coming in, right? And I am in agreement with you.
Okay,
complete agreement.
What part?
Well,
both.
I don't love
Bryson Warren, by the way.
Yeah, I don't love that this is happening. Right, I don't love that it's happening across the board. I agree that look, once you go pro, you need to stay there, right? But if they're going to allow it, which they're going to allow it, then we might as well be on the forefront of that.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are good. I mean, G League players are good basketball players, and if they start allowing them into college ball, I want my team, I want the school I cheer for to be on the precipice of this new change and be, one of the teams that's doing this. Go and get these guys if they're going to allow it. Might as well. I mean, these kids want to come here, and I mean, they can come to college, they can earn more money, they can go and get a degree. Well, I don't know.
I mean, but hold on. If you're a G League player, you hope to be an NBA player, but you are a tweener player. So that might not be enough of an income to sustain a lifestyle, right? Yeah. Like we're first round NBA picks, that's a different conversation. But if you're a tweener player that has not made it on an NBA roster consistently, you have to think about your education. Yeah. Do you not?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about education. Are they, though? I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it depends on the parents.
It just depends on your upbringing and what's important to you and all that. I mean, I think a lot of times those guys, the guys that just skip and go straight to the NBA, I mean, maybe they either didn't have good enough grades or they.
Well, no, they're one and dones.
Yeah,
they have to go to college in the NBA. It's not like baseball.
Well, or you can go straight to the G League. You don't have to go to college. You can come out of high school and go straight to the G League.
Well, and that brings up a whole other conversation of I don't particularly care for the G League.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm with you. I mean,
I care for it from a development standpoint. I don't pay attention to it. Does that make sense?
Oh gosh, no, I don't pay attention to it.
Nobody cares about it.
Yeah, to me, it's just one of those things where I hate the rule, or I hate that they're allowing this because it's the NCAA. There are no rules.
Yeah, it's a can of worms.
It's just like the NIL thing that we talked about years ago. It's it's out of the toothpaste is out of the tube. You're not putting it back in, and the NCAA has just shown that regardless of sport and regardless of situation, they have no teeth.
Yeah, I mean, it's opened up a can of worms to like guys. I mean, especially in baseball. Baseball would be the worst one, I think, because you got all these guys in single A and double A ball who can sit there and go, "Oh, wait a second! You tell me I can go back to college. I can go to college. I can get paid more. I'm not on 8-hour bus trips all day. We're taking airplanes and we're doing all this different stuff.
I might make more.
And I'm going to make more money.
Well, maybe that's why I don't like the G League. I don't like the G League because it follows the same thing as like getting drafted straight out of high school. I don't like that model. You're telling me an 18-year-old is going to make a decision to go be a professional?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean,
the dude has a high school diploma. And 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, generally the people advising them don't have the kid's best interest in mind.
Yeah, and most, all of the G League, but most single A and double A baseball teams, they have very little fan support. You're not playing in front of like packed houses like you would in college. You know, you come to college, you're going to play. You know, you come to if you left a double A roster and came here to A, I mean, you're playing in front of. You're not playing nearly as many games. You're not putting as much wear and tear on the. So I mean, it is a very appealing. I would think that if you are a single A, AAA, I think if you're in AAA, you're just too close to the show to get out of AAA. But I think single A and double A.
Let's continue on that path on the other side because I think it deserves a little bit more of a conversation. Because I'm just curious, like, how does high school get impacted by this? Does it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, who knows?
Ground Shuttle Time offers frequent and reliable shuttles from Bryan College Station to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. They're in South College Station. Go check them out. They're going to get you where you need to be. You don't want to fight the traffic on your way to Houston to get to Bush and find parking. That's a disaster. And you maybe the whole thing it's not ideal. So let Ground Shuttle do the driving for you. You can catch up on work emails. You can take a nap. You can read a book. Do some work, whatever it may be. They have 9 shuttle times on the weekdays every hour and a half. They have 5 shuttle times on the weekends every 2.5 hours. And they're excellent for business travelers, commuters, and kids that are just trying to get back home and fly across the country. You can book any vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group size for a charter service. They're a local company, and they want to make sure that they get you to the airport on time. Groundshuttle.com is the website, groundshuttle.com, or call them up. 855-303-4415 is Ground Shuttle. Let them do the driving. Might have been the worst break of our lives. So I had to type a bunch of work emails, and they're judging me on how I type. I'm a hobbit typing. And then we get into a debate on iPhone versus Droid, and I recognize that Androids, I think, are probably a better machinery, but the ease of iPhone, to me, I like better. And then we got into the group text talk. Then Matt tells me about he doesn't have fat fingers because all he has to do is what is it called again? Swipe text. And he says, let me show you how easy it is. It's great. And he goes, zoom, 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 zoom. And it said David Munoz.
Yeah, I did. It didn't work out well. My
okay, it sucks.
Example
okay.
No, it doesn't suck.
Maybe, I got to be honest, it might have been user error.
It's probably, that's more on me than it was the phone. I will say.
Shows how often you write my name.
I like the fact that the best thing about being an Android guy, which I'll admit, I'm an Android guy. Everyone makes fun of me.
What are we doing?
I will say, however, that the best thing about being an Android guy is you get left out of all the group texts, which is my favorite part. So
here's the thing: I don't think you get left out. You just ruin it for everybody.
It's great. They'll leave me out in the future. Don't add Browning.
What about Find My? Like, do you not? Like, does Droid have a Find My function?
Yeah,
it does.
It says everything. Yeah.
Like, so if you want to find your son's cell phone, it can find it for you.
I think so. Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know because my children are Apple people. So my children didn't want. No, we don't want Android. That's lame.
There's a line of demarcation, man. And I always say this: Samsungs are for professionals. iPhones are for college kids.
What about professional journalists?
Take your pick.
Okay.
Hey, honestly, at that point, the video quality matters. What are we doing? Can we talk sports?
It's a fan show.
It's really funny though. I'm normally outnumbered, but Roy is also an Android person, which is we're a rare breed.
I am. I enjoy it.
But people judge the Android community. Yeah.
Oh, they just think we're poor people, is what they think.
Yeah.
They're the poor people with their phones and whatnot.
Not that there's anything wrong with being poor.
No,
trust me when I say my phone was just as expensive as an iPhone.
Yeah, mine was too.
Yeah.
Well, I get the upgraded professional version because I have to use it for work.
Right.
I unfortunately I hate being tethered to it, but I live through my phone 80% of my workday.
Shall we
talk about things that aren't phones?
Yeah, I think I'm looking. Great. Apple is trash. This conversation sucks. Browning sucks. I'm just reading what it says. That's what the people say. Okay, I might have made up that last part.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't suck. I'm cool.
No,
I'm a nice guy.
We were talking about the whole G League and minor league baseball. So do you think this is going to open the door for football players that don't get drafted? Do you think that football is going to go down that path? Or do you think there's this wink, wink, we ain't doing that, guys?
Of all things, I will say, here's the one thing I say.
College baseball.
That's the one that doesn't bother me. Let's just use Tyrion York as an example.
I'm not familiar with Tyrion.
Torian.
What
position did Tyrion play?
Tyrion was a part of Game of Thrones.
Is that his brother?
Yeah. Tyrion Lannister.
So Tyrion York. Torian York.
He plays football. He plays linebacker.
You know it's Marcel Reed, not Marcelino Reed, right?
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you.
And it's David Nuño, not
Thank you, Mr. Munoz.
Yeah. Otis Buchanan on the Go Hour.
Roy April over here.
Stephen McCree.
So,
all right, Max, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that's the one that wouldn't bother me at all. From a football standpoint, let's say a guy like Torian York goes, you know what, I'm going to go in the draft.
Yeah.
And let's say he doesn't get drafted. I would love for him to have the option to come back to college. You got a guy that's right there. He's already been on the roster. This isn't a giant leap to come back for a year. If you still have eligibility, you tested to see if you got drafted. If you choose not, if you don't get drafted, I think you should have the option to come back to college. I mean, that's a much easier thing to do than bringing guys, than opening up the world of. You can go back to the school you were just with. I mean, I don't know if you don't get drafted and then go back into the transfer portal. I mean, that's a whole.
But what if your school's moved on and your position's full?
Yeah.
I mean, then that's the risk you take.
Sorry, buddy.
That's the risk you take by going into the draft. I mean, there's got to be there. Listen, I'm a big fan of being accountable for your for your decisions. Right. That's why I've never really loved the transfer portal. You choose a school. And it didn't go my way. I'm going to leave. I'm going anywhere else I want.
What if you actually
need to be held accountable? Huh?
What if you actually it's just not a good fit?
And that can happen, I'm sure. But still, you need to be. I mean, young people don't have. I'm sorry that this. You can't tell me that a lot of this generation feels like is being held accountable for a lot of their decisions, right?
Oh, boy.
We did. I mean, at our age range, we did. We were held more accountable for things we did than it seems like.
All right, no, devil's advocate here, man.
Please.
If you graduate from college and you go get a job and a year in, you don't like it, are you just going to stay because you picked that job? Are you?
Well, I mean,
see, so there's arguments to be made on both sides. The thing about the draft where it's different is in Major League and G League, or minor leagues and G League, they've signed contracts. Like they've signed professional contracts.
Right.
Whether it's not, I know it's not the NBA, I know it's not MLB, but they have signed a professional contract, right? Like you don't get an accounting degree, go to Ernst & Young for a year and decide you want to go back to accounting school. So it's, for me, the line of separation is once you sign a professional contract, and I know that like that's not how it is. Obviously, they're allowing it to happen, right? It happened in Alabama, now we've done it. And I'm sure we're not the only two. But for me, if there was going to be a rule, if they were ever going to do it, it's the combination of the 5 and 4 for eligibility on the college side. And once you sign a professional contract, and see, that's where it's different than the NFL, because if you declare for the draft, but you don't get drafted, if you don't sign a UDFA, right, undrafted free agent, if you don't sign one of those, because that's a professional contract. If you don't sign that, then I don't see a problem with them coming back to school.
So you're okay with them if they don't get drafted coming back?
If they don't get drafted and they don't sign a contract, an undrafted free agent is still a professional contract. So if you don't sign a contract, you don't get drafted, I don't have a problem with them coming back. As long
Is
as
there an age range, or does it?
I think it still aligns with the 5 and 4
from when you graduated high school?
Right. So because guys declare for the draft.
Because
early, right?
I mean, we have seen 27-year-olds who went into the military, joined college rankings afterward.
Right, but their clock stops. That's different, right? Because I looked at that when I was coming back. I was like, can I walk on? That's a unique situation, right? But I think that by declaring for the draft, I don't think you should lose your eligibility that you potentially, like you might have one more year in college, like of eligibility, right? Yeah. It's when you sign that professional contract, whether it's you got drafted and you sign, or you didn't get drafted and you signed undrafted free agent. It's just like, high school kids, they get drafted and sometimes they're like, you know what, I'm going to go to college. Absolutely. Yeah. Because they got drafted doesn't mean they sign. Yeah. Now, I mean, if you get drafted in the NFL, every last pick is going to sign.
So, but let's just, for instance, use
Tyrion
Lannister. So in this current model, the way it is right now, a guy does not get drafted, okay, or goes to the XFL because he doesn't get picked up by the NFL, plays in a few games for the XFL, but right now that's basically what the G League. Yeah. The G League equivalent, right?
I think with Roy's example, that's still a professional contract. I mean, the XFL.
No, in Roy's, contract. Yes, but in today's climate,
in today's climate,
I don't know if it would hold in court.
That's the can of worms we're opening here by doing this. Again, I don't love the rule, but if they're going to allow it, take advantage of it, right? I mean, it's just that simple. But I think what you're doing, especially baseball, because baseball, I mean, the difference between minor league basketball and minor league football is nothing compared to minor league baseball. You're talking about opening up an absolute can of worms to where it's a free-for-all for these guys to go and get all the... I mean, again, I don't see a bunch of AAA guys going. I mean, AAA guys are just too close to going to the big leagues. But the AA and single A guys, I mean, they're good baseball players that let's say they committed to a school, they get drafted, they decide to go and play. It's not really going their way. They're not developing the way they want. Well, I'll go back to college. And now you've got a free for all of just. I mean, so I that's the part that I don't love. But if you declare for the draft and you don't get drafted, I think you should have an option to come back to school.
Your option is to sign a free agent contract, undrafted free agent, or go back to school.
College.
Now,
that's fine.
Now, and again, really what it is you would be returning to the transfer portal. Because you'll have situations where, hey, we've moved on and our linebacker room is full.
In the old days.
And there's going to be situations where the school that you didn't think you'd go to now has an opening because they got a defensive end who got hurt. And like, hey, I can go play in the SEC and play for this team.
Yeah, but in the old days, the rule was if you hired an agent. As soon as you hire an agent, your eligibility is
gone. They all got agents.
They all got agents now. I mean, we have freshmen on that football team.
So now where's the next line?
And look, not that we're going to figure it out here, and I do want to talk more baseball on the other side.
Yes.
But high school players, right, like, are they going to start getting NIL? Are they going to start being able to go from school to school? Like, what is the difference? And if you go to college, like, I don't know how you'd go to college, by the way, because you have to graduate. Like, I feel like you have to be able to graduate in your profession. Like, so if you're a football player, there should be some kind of like certification that says now you've completed what your necessary work and you can move on to the professional ranks. I'm just trying to find a correlation because in high school you have to graduate to be able, or get your GED to be able to move on.
Yeah, I mean, the wild, wild west that we're in right now. And
I mean, this you want to talk about going down a wormhole because now you have choice of school option out there for kids, so they can just go where. And we already saw kids. This has been happening for 10 years. Kids moving states and moving districts to specifically play for a school. So you're right. We're not going to figure it out here. That's for sure.
All right, let's hit a break.
We could. We're smart enough.
I mean, honestly, I think between us, you get ChatGPT, I get Claude, you get Google, Gemini.
I just use this right here.
Oh, really? Okay, figure it out. Go.
Yeah, I got it figured out already.
Really?
Yeah,
it's too tough. But there's a lot of common sense that's being glossed over and skipped over in a lot of this stuff. I'm a firm believer.
There's no governing body to hold anybody accountable.
Yep.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. Baseball to close out the show.
Sweet.
It is TexAgs Live. And I'm a little sore here on TexAgs Live. Gentlemen, it's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle fatigue, right? That's what DOMS is. I had a very bad workout. It's not about what we were talking about at the break. Anyway.
No, it is not.
Baseball-wise,
Yes.
got to go to Florida now. I know we all want to win every series possible.
21, right? Number 21? Isn't that what they're ranked right now?
Florida, yes.
Yeah.
But they're apparently the best pitcher we're going to see. And
It's legit stuff. The Saturday, So the Friday guy, King, he can run it up there. Like he can run the radar up. The Saturday guy, I was talking to Braun. I didn't know much about the Saturday guy. He's probably he won't run it up as fast, but he's probably got the best stuff on the staff as far as being able to mix it up. But KP alluded to, I was listening on the way in. You know what we do? We just fill up the strike zone. and we make them beat us. And I didn't realize this, that Florida's fielded like a 970 clip. They're not much better than LSU.
Right.
So, again, Florida is like LSU in the sense that they've got a ton of talent, but maybe they're not firing on all cylinders like they should be. So this is not a series you're just going to walk into because they're ranked 21 and you're ranked in the top 10 and you're just going to mow them down because you've got two great pitchers you're going against. And like KP said, their bullpen is full of like fire starters, right? Like they're going to run the radar clock up. They're going to wear it out.
But that's what LSU did, and we hit LSU all week. We like heat. I think
LSU's bullpen, man. They were. I was impressed. I really
Paz guy was really good.
Yeah,
that dude was on fire.
But again, when you've got hitters and you got hitters that are on a streak, and Hakopian kind of got back in the saddle, right? I thought that was a great sign.
Yeah.
You run some velocity into the strike zone, and we run into it. It goes really far, really quickly.
It does. How optimistic are you now? Like where has it changed over the last 3 weeks?
I'm like I said in what's on my mind. I think we go into the series thinking that we're going to win the series. Yeah. Again, I'm not calling a sweep. Roy called a sweep last week. I got to give him credit. I thought he was crazy, but he called it and we did it.
Crazy.
But I do now because of the run we're on. I do anticipate us going in and win the series. A sweep at Florida. I mean, Florida, like I said, is a baseball blue blood. I mean, going on the road at Florida, man, that will look good at the end of the season.
Well, it's a park you can hit in too, though, and we can hit. And for me, we talked about this last week. Where's the fan base at after the Texas series, right?
Yeah.
And I said it's going to take another series, right? For the people that were on the fence, I thought it was going to take another series of success in order for those people on the fence about this baseball team to be like, okay, maybe we got a good team.
But here's the
sweep in the box, man.
If you go to Florida and you only win one game, you don't get swept, right? You go and you win one game, they win the series, right? I don't think it hurts us at the end of the season.
I think it depends what we do. Like I think Richard came up with we want to win more than 6 games. We want them to be better than 6-6, right? Go 500. But if you go 6-6, you'll have your 18 wins. You'll probably be a national seed.
Yeah. That's crazy to think going 500 might do that.
We got about 1:30. We did an entire fan show and did not talk about the spring game.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had to talk about phones.
Oh, yeah, we did it Samsung versus Apple. Well, I think Texas A&M football is the Apple of the...
No, stop.
Well, in your opinion, it would be the Droid.
Yeah.
Look,
either way, the spring game was obviously what a spring game is. It's fun, but it's
what can you get from it, kind of thing.
Yeah, what can you get from it? I did love seeing Will Hargett walk on from Consol.
Yep.
Kid that we know well. His dad and I are good friends, and obviously his grandpa is an Aggie legend.
Yep.
I love seeing him get some catches and some playing time. The kid's a great little athlete, so I'm really hoping that maybe he can get some playing time this year if he's good enough. But that was a lot of fun to watch from a local standpoint. The receivers look good. The defense, those defensive ends look good too. So spring game, it's hard to take a lot from it, but I thought it was a fun watch for sure.
Same.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't take a lot from spring games. It's just unfortunate with Sanford, but. Saw some flashes. Arrington, Horton.
He'll be back before season starts.
I hope so. WebMD Browning, appreciate you, sir. Say hi to your friend David Munoz, by the way, and Tyrion York. Anyway, that's going to do it for the fan show on TexAgs Live. Tomorrow on the show, we've got the baseball bunch, we've got Luch, we've got OB, and we've got Pablo Picasso and Escobar. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.